Welcome back to another class on the Treasures of Mishnayot. We are in Mishnayot Perek Gimel Mishnah. This is a new Mishnah. The Kahati opens up with a small introduction. Mishnatenu mosifa lelamed din ba'al keri li'inyan tefilat shemna esrei. Our Mishnah adds to teach us the laws of Baal Keri in regards to the prayer of Shemona Esrei. Sheken takanat Ezra heta ben l'divrei Torah ben l'tefillah. Because the enactment of Ezra was in regards to Torah and also Tefillah when we are dealing with a Baal Keri. Baram, however, HaRambam Kotev, the Rambam, he writes, she'Ezra lo tiken Tefillah l'Baal Keri ela l'divrei Torah. That Ezra, when he enacted the Tefillah for Baal Keri, it was only in regards to Torah, but not Tefillah. Aval, however, Ubedin she'amdu achar kach, and Bedin, which was established after Ezra, hitkinu she'Baal Keri asur af b'tefillah. According to the Rambam, another Bedin came, and they enacted that a Baal Keri is also forbidden in davening Shemona Esrei. V'lo yitpalal ad sheyitbol. He's not allowed to daven Shemona Esrei until he dips into the Mikveh. Ein Kesef Mishnah Shetama al HaRambam. He says, look into the Kesef Mishnah, where he was amazed with the words of the Rambam in Halachot Tefillah Perek Daled Mishnah Daled. So we see over here that there is a machloket between the Rambam and the Tana of the Mishnah, how to go ahead and learn the institution of Ezra. According to the Mishnah, the institution of Ezra was on words of Torah and also on Tefillah, meaning to say that a Baal Keri is not allowed to daven and he's not allowed to learn words of Torah until he dips in the mikvah. However, comes the Rambam, and the Rambam says no. When Ezra made that institution for a Baal Keri, that he first has to dip and he's not allowed to learn Torah, it was only for Torah, but not for Tefillah. Later on, after Ezra's time, when another Bedin came, when they were established, they went ahead and they instituted not only for Tefillah, Baal Keri is not allowed to speak words of Torah, but also a Baal Keri is also not allowed to daven until he dips into the mikvah. The Mishnah begins, Haya omed b'tefillah. If a person was standing in Tefillah, b'tefillat Shemona Esrei, in the prayer of Shemona Esrei, v'niskar shehu Baal Keri, anytime. V'niskar shehu Baal Keri, and he remembers that he's a Baal Keri, v'harei asur lo litpalal ad sheyitbol, and we know it is forbidden for him to pray until he dips into the mikvah. Lo yafsik tefilato legamri. Do not interrupt his prayer completely. Ela yikater. Rather, what should he do? He should shorten his prayer. How? Kol bracha ubracha dahainu shlo yomar ela pitichata v'chatimata. He should go ahead and he should shorten every single bracha, meaning to say that he should only open up with the blessing and close off with the blessing. Kigon, he says, for example, Ata choneh la'adam da'at. Don't continue and say umlamed la'elosh bino v'chonenu mitek chochma bino v'da'at. No. Ata choneh la'adam da'at, baruch ata Hashem chonena da'at. Slach lanu avinu, baruch ata Hashem hanu amarbe l'sloch. You begin with the beginning of the blessing and you conclude with the ending of the blessing, and everything in the middle you take out. That's called yikatzer. That means you have to shorten the blessing. Now continues the Kahati, and he says, Yarad Baal Keri. What happens if the Baal Keri, he went into the mikvah, litbol, to dip, babokah in the morning? Im yachol speak, if he's able to have enough time, la'alot mina tevilah, to come out from the tevilah, meaning from the dipping, ulit kasot bitalito, and to be able to cover himself with a towel, v'likrot shema, and to recite the shema, ad shelot tinanetz chachama, kodem shitanetz chachama, before the sunrise comes up, shikachi ha-mitzvah min ha-muchor, because that is the best possible way to do the mitzvah. Kemo sheshani lo'el Perek Aleph Mishnah Bet, like we learned above in Perek Aleph Mishnah Bet, where it says, v'gumra ad ha-netz chachama, you should try to finish the shema until netz chachama. V'ken hayu nehogin ha-vatikin, so too the minhag, the custom of the vatikim, that was their custom. What does it mean, vatikim? We said before, anavim umechavevei ha-mitzvot. They were humble people and that mitzvot were dear by them. They were particular to finish the reciting of the Shema with sunrise. Why? In order to make the bracha of Ga'al Israel close to the blessing of Shemona Esrei. K'moshe one el in Perek Aleph Mishna Bet. Interestingly enough, today we learned in the journey, the Gemara journey with Rashi, over there in Daf Daled Amud Bet, Rabbi Yochanan says, Ezu ben ha'olam haba, who is considered to be a ben ha'olam haba, who is considered to be a son of the world to come? Zeh shesomech geula letefillah. Is this person that he goes ahead and he makes sure that the blessing of Ga'al Yisrael and the blessing of the tefillah, meaning when you begin Amunai Tzavtai Tiftach, they're close to each other. That's why in the Shacharit, if a person goes ahead and he says, Baruch Atah Hashem, Ga'al Yisrael Amunai Tzavtai Tiftach, immediately, Rabotai, to close it as much as possible, the Geula L'Tefillah, the Geula blessing, meaning the redemption blessing, to the Shemona Esrei, you should know this person is a Ben Ha'olam Haba. Continues the Kahati and he says, so let's just go back one more time because without all these extra things, because just to make sense. Yarad L'Tbol, if a person went to dip in the morning because he was a Balkari, Im Yachol La'alot, if he's able to come out of the Mikveh, to go up, Ulit Kasot, and to cover himself, V'likrot, and to recite the Shema, Ad Shalot Netzach Hama, until the sunrise did not come up yet, Ya'alev Yitkaseh V'ikre, he should go up, he should cover himself with a towel, and he should recite the Kriya Shema Shel Shacharit, the Kriya Shema of the morning. V'im Lav, what happens if he's not able to go ahead and cover himself and come up, because by the time he's going to do it, sunrise is going to pass. So he says, V'im Lav, and if not, She'eni Yachol La'aspik La'alot V'likrot Kodem Shetanetzach Hama, he's not going to be able to have enough time to come up and recite the Kriya Shema before sunrise comes up. No problem. Yitkaseh b'mayim v'yikre. Let him cover himself with water and let him recite the Kriya Shema. Because remember, he's inside a mikvah. Kolomer, meaning to say, Yachnis atzmo ad tzevaro. He should bring himself inside until his neck. L'toch hamayim she'omed, inside the water where he's standing. L'toch hamayim she'omed behem, into the water where he's standing in them. V'ikra Kriya Shema. And then he should recite the Kriya Shema. So what is the Kahati saying? If a person sees right now, he's in the body of water, but he sees, he's like, look, I have exactly 7 seconds to be able to say Shema before sunrise is going to come up. He times himself really quick. Can I come out of the mikveh and put on a towel and say Shema? If yes, that's what we're going to tell him to do. Come out of the mikveh, cover your bottom portion, say Shema, no problem. But what happens if he's not going to be able to do it because he sees it's not enough time? We're going to tell him stay inside the water, cover the water up to your neck, and then go ahead and recite the Shema, because we want you to be able to say Kriya Shema before sunrise. Continues the Katz and he says, V'davka, and this is specifically Kishamayim Einam Tzilulim. This is specifically when the waters, they're not clear. They're blurry. You can't see through it. Shelo yeli boru ervato, because we don't want your heart to see your private part. Now I want to just try to clarify something over here. There's 2 important halachot when it comes shelo libo ro'eh ta'erva, that the heart shouldn't see one's nakedness. It's not only that I can see my own nakedness when I'm saying a bracha, but there's also that the heart shouldn't see it. What do I mean? A person takes a shower. Now he comes out of the shower, he puts on a robe. The robe has a belt. He doesn't want to tighten the belt. He takes a cup of water and he says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam shakol niyeh b'dvaro. Was that allowed or not? Absolutely not. It is asur. Why is it asur? But he's fully covered, correct. Being fully covered on the outside is one step of the process. You have to be covered also inside, meaning when a person is wearing a robe, the robe is loose on him. So once the robe is loose on him, the heart is able to see the private part. If the heart is able to see one's nakedness, you're not allowed to bless any bracha. That's what he's telling you over here, that as long as the water is clear, you're not allowed to say Kriya Shema. However, if the water was blurry, then you would be able to say Kriya Shema. Aval, however, he says, Kishamayim tululim, but if the waters are clear, Asur lo likrot kishu omed betoch hamayim, it is forbidden for you to recite the Kriya Shema while he is standing inside the water, and he brings his opinion down from the Gemara. Continues the Mishnah to say, Aval, however, lo yitkasel lo b'mayim hara'im, v'lo b'mei hamishra, ad sheyatil l'toch hamayim. The Kahati says, one should not cover himself with bad waters, meaning smelly waters. He says here also, omer raglayim, or urine. Okay, we'll see. We're not speaking about a reason that person is going to cover himself with urine. That you're not going to do. Alright? We'll see why he had to bring it down. You shouldn't cover yourself also with water where the flax was soaked in that water. So he says over here, water where you soak in them flax. Why can't you go ahead and dip yourself? Why can't you cover yourself with water where it has a bad smell? Or with water where flax was dipped into them, soaked into them? He says very simple, Sherecham ra'ah. In all of these cases, they have bad smell. Continues the Mishnah and to say like this, Ad shiyatil letochan mayim yafim. Until you're going to go ahead and you're going to place inside there clean water, good water. The Kahati tells you over here, B'gimor Mevur, and the Gemara is explained, Shepesika zum mesuva amer raglayim. This last statement where we said, Ad shiyatil letochan mayim, until you're going to go and you're going to place water inside them, it's not going back. It's not going back on the smelly water or on the flax water. It's not going back on that. It's only going back on urine. And he'll tell you like this. Why? What is that coming to teach you? When it says over there, what does that mean? It's trying to tell like this. One should not recite next to them, meaning next to the urine, until he places inside there clean water. You need a measurement of 3 ounces for one-time urination. I'll give an example. A father goes with his son, I don't know, he goes to a picnic or he's at home or whatever the situation might be. And the child, he made pee on the floor, for example. Let's say it doesn't smell, because if it smells, it's a problem. Let's say the urine doesn't smell. The urine is right over here right now. Can he recite barachot? Can he learn Torah? Can he say Kriya Shema? Absolutely not. So what are we going to tell him to do? In order to nullify this urine, we're going to tell him, take 3 ounces and spill it. But you can't have 2, 3 kids, 4 kids come and urinate in one pile, meaning in one spot, and then just put 3 ounces. No, it's not going to work like that. For every one person, 3 ounces is going to be enough. But as long as it doesn't smell. That's what he tells you over here. The Gemara is explained, this statement where it says that you have to place clean water inside them is referring to Ameraglam, is going on the urine. You shouldn't recite the Kriya Shema next to the urine until you place inside their water. You need a shi'ur, 3 ounces. You need a measurement of 3 ounces for one-time urination. Now the Mishnah continues and he says, okay, now that we know I'm not allowed to cover myself with smelly water or with flax water, or I can't be next to the urine, fine. How much do I have to distance myself from them before I can recite the Kriya Shema? How much should I distance myself from them? From the smelly waters, and from the flax water. V'yesh mefarshim, and someone will say, you know what it means mehem when it says v'kam yerchik mehem? This word mehem is going on memei raglayim shelo hitil letoch hamayim. From the urine had you not placed 3 ounces of water inside there. So how much I have to distance myself either from the smelly waters or from the flax water, or according to one opinion from the urine if I didn't place over their water, umina tzu'ah, and also from excrement from number 2. In order for me to be able to recite the Kriya Shema, how much do I have to distance myself from them? The Mishnah answers, Arba Amot, 4 Amot. He says, it's about 2 1/3 of a meter, which is about 6 to 8 feet. When were these words said that if you move 4 amot, let's just Rabotai keep it simple, let's say 6 feet, but there's a machlokit how much each amot is, that's what I'm saying, 6 to 8 feet. But so let's say 4 amot is 6 feet according to one opinion. When did we say you have to move 6 amot away and then you're allowed to recite the Kriya Shema or Barachot or anything else? Kishamayim or Hatzo'al Stadim or Le'acharav, where the smelly waters or the excrement is to my sides or is behind me. So let's say the excrement is on this side, I move 4 amot away, I could recite the Kriya Shema. It's behind me, I move 4 amot away, I could recite Kriya Shema. That's when we're going to tell you 4 amot helps. Aval, however, he says, lifanav. But if the excrement or the smelly waters is in front of you, tzarich laharchik atzmo kimolo enav. You need to distance yourself to the full vision of your eyes. Meaning to say, ad she'enu ro'eh otam. Very important piece of the Mishnah. Until you're not going to be able to see them. Now, Rabbatai, listen to this very carefully. Now, a person, he sees this child, he urinated in front of him. So the father says, you know something, I'm going to move back 4 amot, 10 amot, 20 amot. You can move as much as you want. The problem over here is going to be like this. If it's in your distance, if you are able to see it, if it's in your vision, you can't say no bracha, no Torah. You can't because it's in your line of vision. That's what we're going to tell either to turn away, that way, or to turn your side. But you can't do it against it. That's what he's telling you over here. When are we going to tell you that 4 amot is going to help you? That's only when it's to my sides or behind me. But when it comes in front of me, to the fullest of my vision, where I can no longer see it. Rabotai, let's just do the Mishnah on top. Haya omed b'tefillah, if a Balkari was standing in Shemona Esrei, when Niskar Shu Balkari, he remembered that he's a Balkari, lo yafsik elai katzeh, he shouldn't interrupt his prayer, but rather he should shorten the brachot. Yarad l'bol, and if he went down to the mikveh, if he's able to go up and to cover himself with a towel and to recite the Kriya Shema until the sunrise didn't come up yet, let him come up, let him cover himself, and let him recite the Kriya Shema. And if not, let him cover himself with the water and let him recite it. However, he shouldn't cover himself with smelly waters. And he shouldn't cover himself with waters where the flax was soaked in them. Until he's going to go ahead and he's going to place inside them water. Not over here, meaning into the urine. How much does he have to distance from these waters and from the excrement? 4 amot. Rabotai, have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.